From the Detroit Free Press, I'm Robin Chan with today's voice briefing. It's Friday, January 20th, 2023.
I'm Susan Tompor, and I'm a personal finance columnist at the Detroit Free Press. The first official kickoff date for the tax season is January 23. That's the day when the IRS will begin processing e-filed returns for 2022. But many taxpayers, including Jeff Mortimer of Ann Arbor, are just seeing some resolution for their tax returns from 2020 and 2021. At the start of last year, the IRS had a backlog of 4.7 million original individual 1040 returns and 3.2 million original business returns. Unfortunately for Mortimer, he isn't going to get a refund like he had hoped for that 2020 return. His return was actually finally processed in late December, and that's when he got some answers. Mortimer paid $933 when he filed his 2020 return nearly 2 years ago. The problem was he and his taxpayer missed a key new tax break that involved jobless benefits. He later discovered that he didn't owe the money that he had paid for 2020. He had spent much of the last 2 years trying to figure out how he'd get that cash back. The IRS sent him a letter last January saying he was due $933, but he never could get through to the IRS. After working with the Taxpayer Advocate Service, he got more answers. Once his return was finally processed, the Taxpayer Advocate and the Internal Revenue Service told him that his money would end up going to cover an old tax bill, and that old tax bill was from 2012. Mortimer had thought he had put that bill long behind him when he went through a complicated process to have those taxes then deemed as uncollectible. But that wasn't meant to be. Taxpayers need to realize that many times they won't get issued a tax refund if they owe money in back taxes for state or federal income taxes or child support or other issues. Fortunately, Mortimer had not already mentally spent that so-called 2020 refund, and he's glad he didn't.
I'm Sue Solaski, Detroit Free Press food writer. We are in the middle of Dry January, the 31-day challenge to go booze-free. As Dry January has become more popular, so have ways to fill the alcohol void with mocktails. Metro Detroit cocktail bars and lounges and restaurants have answered the mocktail call. Jasmine Weaver, the cocktail and spirits director at Frame in Hazel Park, says there's been a spike in general for a year-round mocktail menu. At Frame, Weaver makes mocktails with concentrated syrups that can be topped with club soda, use alcohol-free spirits, or botanicals that may resemble something like gin or rum, adding layers of flavor. A worldwide initiative, millions take part in Dry January. Reaping health benefits is the leading reason for Dry January. Health experts say common benefits include weight loss, mental clarity, better mood and less worries, and your sleep is better. Several studies also show its benefits last past January as people adopt drinking less and changes that promote better health. For lists of metro area places that offer mocktails and a list of new alcohol-free spirit options, go to freep.com.
I'm Andrew Hammond for the Free Press Sports Department. The Pistons' trip to Paris ends with a loss. For all of the splendor and beauty that Paris provides to the world, the mission for the Chicago Bulls and Detroit Pistons was not to take in all of the splendor and beauty too much. They had a basketball game to play on Thursday night, or Thursday afternoon here in the States. The Pistons lost to the Bulls 126-108. Bojan Bogdanovic led the Pistons with 25 points in the defeat. Following the Pistons' trip back to the States, they will host the Milwaukee Bucks at Little Caesars Arena on Monday night at 7 p.m.
For more stories from the Detroit Free Press, check out freep.com. That's FREEP.com. Thanks for listening. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday.